What's going on, guys? It's Josh. It's been the better part of 10 years since I uploaded on this YouTube channel, so I figured I'd give it another shot. It was successful when I was 12 years old. Why wouldn't it be when I'm 26? I'm on my way today to Copart in London, Ontario, Canada to have purchased and to pick up a 2004 BMW E46 325 Wagon in a 5-speed. Now, a lot of people would say they're just an old BMW, which they are, but I've got a soft spot deep down inside me for a good wagon, especially in 5-speed. So that's where we're headed today. Hopefully save this thing. She's a salvage title, but it's a pretty light hit in the front end. And we're gonna see what we got. So we're back at my shop. Car's still in the trailer. Hopped inside, turned the key, and she fired right up. At first glance, the car looks fantastic. Hardly any sign of frame damage. But first things first, since we are at a detail shop, I got Quinn to help me out to give this thing a little wash. Now, I don't recommend that you power wash your engine bay, but this thing is so dirty, we're going to give this thing a degrease and rinse. Oh, good one. That's a little bit better. She's just clean. Down the road, once this thing's all finished up, we'll give her some paint work. This is my real toy. I'll walk you guys through this in a separate video in some days to come. We're at my main shop, Ameris Auto Care, my auto detail business today. We're in the middle of a Canadian winter right now, so instead of working at my home garage, I'm using this nice heated bay instead. And we're gonna start tearing into this thing and just removing all the crash damage to see what's going on with this chassis. So wonderfully, everything looks intact here. The wheel structure almost doesn't look hit at all.
I have yet to ever remove a fender from an E46 without having one of these strip on me, so I gotta drill this out. Hey! So, I didn't show it in the video here, but I spent quite a bit of time looking over the whole chassis, and everything looks great. There's no surprises in the front end. The frame is all very straight except for one spot. So I was dying to put the car on some lowering springs that I had kicking around the shop for ages, as well as some wheels, just to kind of see how it looked. And I'm gonna resume going over the car and actually pulling out that little tiny bend on the fender. But for now, we're doing the first thing you should do with any car and lower it. I've had these wheels sitting in my personal shop for well over a year from a 330xi that I parted. I just think it's a really classy, nice looking OE wheel. Without getting too hot boy. All right, so after that little evening of work, here's how the car currently looks. Lowering springs from my previous 330, which is gonna get parted because she's a little rough. They're put in this car. They're H&R lowering springs with some collars in the rear. These nice wheels I've had sitting around for quite a while. I can't recall what style they are. The great news is that the frame rail's untouched, but I was expecting that, seeing as the front bumper didn't have any damage at all. The only damage is right where the fenders mount up. So it's part of the unibody of the car. This is the side that wasn't hit. And if you note, this angle right here, you can see how it's nice and straight and flat. It's not horizontal, but it just has a small dip down. If you ignore the bracket, which you'll see a use for here shortly, you can see how it is a lot more angled downwards, and it's bent right here. But the wheel tub didn't take a hit anywhere. And you can note, I can almost bend that back just with my hand. So I'm gonna show you what that bracket is for here shortly. All right, this is what I've come up with. I got the old Dodge hooked up to the trailer, which has a winch on it. And that winch is hooked up to this bracket. You can't knock this if it works. Yes, this is very DIY, but I have less than an inch to pull. So we're gonna press the in button on the winch, give it a little, good to go. This is ideally where I'd have a second person, but it's family day, so. Okay. Oh, that's working nice. Look at that. That's pretty good. Yeah. Might just give it one more little pull. Let's see here. Just a little tap. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna slide the new rad support on. See how it looks before I keep pulling. That's way better. Okay, the replacement rad support is on from a car that never saw an accident. That side's bolted back up. And level-wise, pretty much perfect. But I need to walk it over to the right just a hair, because it's got just ever so slightly less than a quarter inch to pull. So I'm going to reposition the car, put that same bracket on, and just pull it this way just a hair to get that straightened out. This thing needs some gas. Good angle just to pull right to that winch. Okay, here we go. Get some tension. That's just the bracket shifting. Ah, pretty good. Let's see how that looks. That looks better. See, we got a little bit of separation right there. That's perfect. Okay, let's bolt it back up. All right, rad support's back on. And she looks great. These dowels should line up. If you ever look at any of these crash D46s, you always see these rad supports, or, well, one usually maybe a little bit bent, and these dowels won't line up on either side. But I'm no pro auto body guy, but that was worked out for a DIY trailer pull, which looks good. We'll keep going for the rest of the week.